Yo, what's going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're hopping into the GARP's Challenge Worst Generation, utilizing the mono INT team. So I do have two INT teams for you guys in today's video. So the first team is utilizing my boy, Ryoiin Shanks. That was the team, those were the supports. Let's dive in. So yes, I did manage to complete the Worst Generation with Ryoiin Shanks. And honestly, it really wasn't that tricky. The fact that you can just run the Ryoiin slashes, honestly, it makes the content a lot easier than it needs to be. And basically all you got to do here is just bring someone that can get around threshold, and you're basically Gucci. So for me, I chose the Kobe Helmeppo unit. They're they're free to play. Plus they are a slasher when you are Helmeppo and in their dual form. So that way you actually gain access to the Oro Jackson. The other unit I did decide to put on the team was Kaido. Now the free to play Kaido, the INT Kaido, I literally just brought him because he's immune to blowaway. So he works really nicely because he's an attack booster for 2 turns. After you hit 12 hit counters, very similar to Ambush Big Linlin or Big Mom. You can actually get a nice chunky attack boost to your INT characters, which works really, really nicely. He's pretty much replaceable with any other attack boost or anything like that. You can bring another slasher or something like that, or free spirit unit. You will be probably in better stead as long as you can sort of get around that blowaway on the final turn. But nevertheless, Ryoiin Shanks actually did it very, very nicely. He sort of cruised through to the ending and then just sort of took his time at the end there, because we do have access to the captain swap that gives us either Mihawk or Law. So you do have 3 very good captains no matter what happens. But once you hit this third stage, you come up against Bonnie, Apu, and Capone. We're going to use one of the super typings of Ryoiin Shanks here. That way we can actually get a full board of orbs through the recovery and the bomb slots. We can give ourselves a chain buff with the special of Shanks, as well as set the defense to 0. That just makes this particular stage a lot easier than it actually seems. You can sort of just you don't have to worry about hitting your perfects because you're running the Oro Jackson, and you can sort of just tear through the HP of the front 2 enemies. Now, I don't really recommend utilizing this particular team, to be honest. If you have verse WhiteBeard, run verse WhiteBeard. If you have something like Moria, obviously run Moria. But you know me, I'm a bit of a Shanks simp, so I thought let's have some fun with INT, because INT is not that tricky at all, and you can actually do some pretty cheeky shenanigans with Blackbeard, the V2 Blackbeard. You can actually remove this particular debuff that your rogue puts up, and there's just sort of better teams out there. So INT's not that tricky, so I thought I'd have some fun with it for the first team, and we are utilizing Ryoiin Shanks. INT's really good because they have access to Capone as well, which can get around blowaway, can get around the captain swap. Being the big father effect is just an absolute cheese for this particular content, and you guys will see that in the next team anyway. But on stage 4, you come up against your rogue. Lucky for us, we actually have color affinity against your rogue, but he gives us that damage limiter, so we sort of have to just stall that out, which is just, it's so annoying, honestly. It's the most arrogant debuff in the entire game, but nevertheless, it's still in the game, unfortunately, so it's just something we have to deal with. Once you do hit the 2 million mark, you can sort of switch into Kobe. That way you have the ability to switch into Helmeppo on the next turn, and it is just going to work in your favor a little bit nicer. Once we do move into the next stage, we come up against Mihawk and, not Mihawk, words are hard, Zoro and Killer. They put up 4 turns of threshold, and they are going to put up 4 turns end turn damage. Killer puts up a 3 perfect barrier, but don't stress, because 2/3 of this particular team actually has barrier pen, thanks to the Ryoiin slashes and that amazing limit break ability. We're going to use the special of Kobe Helmeppo here. They can remove the threshold. They become a slasher in their dual form. Make sure you are in the INT form though, obviously, so they just are better boosted. But they also give us a 2x attack boost to our INT and Psy characters. With that, you just want to sort of focus on taking out Zoro first, and then you can use your barrier pen with Law and Mihawk, and that way you can actually take out Killer easy peasy. Unfortunately for me, I actually forgot to use the support of Custard. Ideally, you would actually use the support of Custard on that particular stage as well. So that way you can get the orb seal, lock. So that's why when you hit the Blackbeard stage and you get the orb barrier, you can actually hang on to all your orbs there. It works really, really nicely, because you can pretty much sort of I wouldn't say guarantee yourself orbs, but you can pretty much give yourself better orbs than what your regular orb roll would be. And because you can keep an INT orb on Kaido if you hit perfects, you can guarantee, not guarantee, but you can get TND and recovery orbs to be matching as well, thanks to the Oro Jackson. But nevertheless, it's not that big of an issue, because when you hit the Blackbeard stage, you're going to use the Mihawk special, you're going to use the Law special, you can easily mop the floor with Blackbeard. And thanks to the Zoro support, you can get a chain lock as well, which is really nice. Once you hit the final stage against the Oni trio, they are going to give you a captain swap to the middle row, and they're going to blow away your bottom 2 characters. Kaido's immune to blow away, which makes it very, very nice, so you are only going to lose the Kobe Helmeppo unit. Not a big issue whatsoever, because we actually had our captain swap to Law. If you actually get your captain slot to Law, it works nicely because you can actually activate his super typing because we have Mihawk and Shanks, or just Mihawk actually. Mihawk on the team. That way we can actually get his super typing. Then we're going to use the Shanks super typing as well. That way we can set the defense to 0 as there is no full immunity on this final stage. Then we can use our Shanks special to give ourselves a chain boost for 3 turns as we have a bunch of INT characters. And because we get the carryover of the orb boost and the attack boost thanks to Mihawk and Law, we can actually do a lot of damage on this particular stage. And ideally you can actually take out both Law and Kid on the very first turn. Luffy does have a barrier, but like I said, with Barrier Pen, Law, Mihawk, and the Shankses, they do really nicely here. And if you need to take a couple turns on Luffy, it's not that end of the world, as you have set the defense to 0, you still have that chain buff, and then you can actually use the Kaido special on turn 2 to give yourself another attack boost, which just works really, really nicely. Now, if you didn't have Law, or if you don't get Law switched into your captain, don't stress. You should have just enough HP to survive, because as long as you're hitting your perfects throughout the run and keeping your HP at a nice chunky HP pool, you will have a lot of healing with Shanks as well. So as you can see there, we pretty much, or actually, yeah, I think you just survived thanks to like hitting the perfects with Shanks and the Aura Jackson. Let me know in the comment section below if it doesn't work, but I'm pretty sure that it should. Plus, if you get what's his name, Mihawk to become captain, Mihawk can actually, Law as a sailor actually has Psi Orbs matching and has like a better sailor ability. So you can, I wouldn't say guarantee, but you can sort of have an extra orb on one of your characters there. But nevertheless, it actually works fairly well. Halloween Shanks getting the new GARPs challenge done, easy peasy. Let's move on to the next team now, which is more of a, I'm not going to say a straightforward team, but more of a much better team to be running when it does come to this particular piece of content. Alright, so moving on to the next team now, we are utilizing a Moria and verse WhiteBeard team. So it is powerhouse and driven centric. So this is the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive in. Now, the only notable supports that we do have on this particular team is Custard on our Dofi unit, as well as utilizing Halloween Law on our verse Big Mom. Both those supports help out significantly. I would highly recommend using the Magello ship as well. And that way you can sort of just like cheese that orb lock mechanic or that orb seal mechanic. If you guys have verse WhiteBeard, you can bring a friend Moria. Like that should work absolutely fine as well. Honestly, if you can like, if you have verse WhiteBeard, you can run like double verse WhiteBeard and this team like doesn't struggle at all. But nevertheless, like running the hybrid of Moria and WhiteBeard actually just tend to work a little bit nicer for me. It was actually a lot smoother. But nevertheless, like I have done it with double WhiteBeard. I just didn't want to include it in the video just because like there was already enough teams going ahead anyway. But there was another team that I wanted to include. I did see it get told about it from another player, but I think I'm just going to leave it for now. Let me know if you guys want to see that particular team in the comment section below. But it does utilize V2 Blackbeard. V2 Blackbeard can actually, you can actually use his super typing to get around the what's it called? The damage limiter that your rogue puts up. And then you can actually just bring something like Mihawk, and you can actually just get around the normal attacks only. And that way you can sort of just cheese out the final stage. But it does take a lot of stalling at the start, so like you have to sort of like get the double special of Blackbeard going. Blackbeard's quite stally. He does take a little bit of time because you do have to take damage and stuff like that. And he's just not really my playstyle. But if you guys want to see that video, let me know in the comment section below. If there's enough support surrounding it, I'll definitely get onto it and maybe release it as a shorts or just like as a separate video. Very similar to what I did with the Dex Zora team video, because that was actually a lot of fun. So once we hit stage 3, we come up against Bonnie, Apu, and Capone. This is where things start to get, I wouldn't say shaky, but this is where the content actually starts. They're going to give us our right-hand side recovery orbs, left-hand side bombs. You guys know the drill. Bombs hurt. If you eat the recovery orbs, they're going to hurt too. They remove your sound effects and they remove your special effects. So that way you actually can't like see or hear when you're going to hit your perfects. And then basically it just means you're going to take damage. So what I do here is I use the versatility of WhiteBeard. And then thanks to Moria, you can actually heal after you kill enemies. So I just got to kept Apu on a little bit of HP. And that way I can take him out on the next turn. And that way I just sort of maximize my healing, I guess, but it doesn't matter too much because the versatility of WhiteBeard is just so goddamn strong that, as you can see, you can just easily take them out on that very next turn. Moving on to the heroic stage, this is that arrogant stage that I keep rambling on about. The damage limiter starts at 500,000, goes up to a mil, 1.5, and then 2 million. Unfortunately for this particular team, we have to wait until we hit the 2 million, and once you hit the 2 million, like, you have enough damage to take him out, and if you don't, he basically just kills you. Like, it just basically gives you a death hit. But unfortunately, this is where the content kind of sucks. because you do have to sort of hang around here for a little while. But nevertheless, it's not that big of an issue. Now, something that I didn't do that I would highly recommend. See how I got T&D orbs and recovery orbs? What I would do is on this stage, I would just keep like rotating through your orbs to try and get the Big Mom versatility. After this particular stage, or after the 1.5 mil, we're not going to have a way of getting the Big Mom versatility anymore. So just be mindful of that if you do want to get it maxed out. You don't need it maxed out, but it is a little bit nicer to have and makes the run a little bit safer. But nevertheless, it's not that big of an issue if you don't. Once you do hit the 2 million threshold, we are going to use the Moria special. Literally the only reason we're using Moria special is to give ourselves a full border orbs, and then we can lock them with the Magello special. From this point on, we're going to have a full border int orbs like for the rest of the run, and it's just going to help us out drastically. I do try to eat as many as I possibly can just to try and build up my verse WhiteBeard meter, but again, it's not essential. It's just a little bit of fun if you actually want to like maximize the potential of these particular units. Once you hit the Zoro and the Killer stage, they put up 4 turns of thresholds. This is where double special on Dofi is very, very good, and with the new support Custard, or the not so new I should say, it's just finally on global, we can actually lock our orbs once again, and then we can use the fire tank, or not fire tanks, the Capone in 6 plus Capone special to drop our HP, get the Big Father effect, and give our driven characters a 2 times attack boost for 2 turns. With that, we can actually sort of take out both Zoro and Killer, and thanks to Barrier Pen on our fire tank pirates, we can actually do quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately for me, I was just shy of taking out Killer, and this is what I mean by having the versatility of Big Mom ready. If you had the versatility of Big Mom there, you could actually use the Big Mom attack to break through the barrier, or just be immune to the barrier, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter too much, because you can actually use the the Beige attack on the next turn. So we don't have a full top border orbs in orbs, but you should if you actually farm up the Big Mom versatility. But like I said, it's really not that big of a deal. As long as you keep 4 orbs on your characters. Lucky with Fire Tank, I keep doing that. The 6 plus Beige, he makes Psi orbs matching as well. So once you hit this Blackbeard stage, you can take advantage of the orb barrier. The orb barrier from Blackbeard is 3 greats, so just don't worry about it. Like, just hit your perfects. He also like locks your healing, so stops you from being able to heal, and he has full immunity. What we're going to do here is we are going to use our WhiteBeard versatility as well as the WhiteBeard special. So that way we can actually give ourselves... I think we actually just use the WhiteBeard versatility here. I think that's all we do. Yeah, we just use the versatility here just literally because. I actually don't know why I do that. Like, I don't think that's essential. I think I just wanted to like watch the start of it. I love watching the start of the WhiteBeard versus Shanks versatility, but we're going to use the Big Mom special here with the support of Halloween Lore. We can give ourselves an orb boost as well, and with that we can just absolutely tear through Blackbeard's HP. As you can see, like, you only need 4 orbs. It's not that big of a deal. As long as you hit your 3 perfects to get the carryover of Big Mom, you will be in good stead. Once you hit the final stage against the Oni trio, they are going to turn into super types. They're going to blow away your bottom row and captain swap your middle row. So as long as you use the Big Father effect and you're in the Big Father before you hit this stage, you are going to be absolutely fine. We are going to get the carryover of the orb boost thanks to Big Mom. We're going to get an attack boost thanks to WhiteBeard as well as a base stat boost. And thanks to our boy page 1, the Coliseum page 1 unit, we can actually give ourselves a chain lock as well. Unfortunately, because we only use 1 special before him, it's only like I think it's a 3 times chain lock. But look, for a free-to-play character, he's actually pretty good, that page 1. And getting that 3 times chain lock is actually going to help us out quite a bit. With that, with all of that live, we basically can just destroy this stage. Like, we don't really have that many issues. And when I say that many issues, like, we don't have any issues at all. As this particular team has a lot of damage. Remember that the 6 plus Capone actually has barrier pen as well. So you can actually break through Luffy's barrier fairly simply. And with the amount of damage output this particular team has, because it has a chain lock, an attack boost, an orb boost, and a base stat boost. The big one is the base stat boost. It goes so, like, it gets so unnoticed, and moving forward, like, global players, you'll see, like, how strong that base stat boost actually is. And when you guys see the verse Shanks run, you'll understand how strong it is as well. But the base stat boost is something that I just, like, go for when I am team building nowadays. On Japan, I basically prioritize attack, base stat, and chain lock as equal, and then, like, an orb boost or someone that can do, like, an orb boost and an orb rotation. They're usually, like, my go-for when it comes to team building anyway. So, once we get more base stat boosters, I'd highly recommend prioritizing that in terms of your team building. Things like CP0 Lucci are very, very good. Then we get what's his name? The Boa, and is there one for strength? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think there is one for strength, but they're all very, very good nevertheless. And with this particular team, like, as you can see, like, we just do so much goddamn damage that it's just, it just tears through it anyway. So that's going to wrap up the INT video today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Lates!